Goodbye, dear friend. It's always been fun. But Simo, I don't know. I'm really fired up to get into this thing. Whenever I get a chance to watch KOLER play, I just get freaking excited. I have said this before. I firmly believe he has probably just the best raw aim in the game.
Yeah, and you know, the story here, of course, is not only about NRG, but of course, Andbox. We might have to put that conversation on pause just temporarily as there's an engagement down that long side. It's down to 2 final members here for NRG, the 1v2, and effys, he's got to get out of dodge and rotate over towards that A side. I was going to say that, you know, Poach, unfortunately, hopefully he has a speedy recovery, but has had a little bit of trouble in and out of the hospital. I don't think he could have played yesterday, so Warden, their coach, stepped in, played the Cypher. They did lose 2-0 to FaZe Clan, so Poach stepping in today. A big opportunity here for them to, you know, try to make it through, try to make it to that event in December, the 3rd to the 6th, and show the world that they are one of the best teams in North America. They've got a lot of work to do, and it starts with beating NRG here first.
And this first round is certainly going just fine, right? The spike was able to be planted, but they were able to get the defuse. So for Andbox, a great start here on this map. I know that I personally, the more I watch professional Valorant, the more I fall in love with Bind. And I know people have a love-hate relationship with this map, but I really do think as the meta evolves, teams play this map very differently, and it gets more and more unique, and the depth to the decision-making gets better and better. You already see on the attacking side for NRG, they're definitely going to hit hookah. They're stacked up everything over there. They're also going to have 2 people going in long. Let's see exactly what they're up to here.
I think we saw an engagement similar last round as well. So the pressure towards this long side, very important for NRG. And we often see the heavy hookah pressure comboed with a split down the long side. But this time there's a smoke in the way of NRG, so it's going to be a little bit of a delayed push. We'll see how the team in NRG react to this push, because now that the smoke has subsided, they're going to use the owl drone to clear things out. But now they're actually on the site, and Android is waiting for them, finds a frag onto daps, and they're held up at a choke point here in the hookah side.
Yeah, they do have the telly technically, if they wanted to take it out, but it looks like they're fully committing here. Once again, the Spectre out of Android. Oh my gosh, just putting bullets into the back of eeiu's head. Not really having much of an option there if you're NRG. So they commit fully to this B site. They didn't have a ton of guns to work with. Andbox walks away victorious, and it looks like going into this next round here, they're going to have 3 Spectres. They are going to be able to bring a rifle into the fold at the hands of Android, but NRG is going to have full firepower here.
So once again, I thought for some reason that Poach would have been playing today, but I think he's still recovering. So hopefully he once again finds himself in a speedy recovery. But that still means that the coach will be stepping in. And I ultimately think that is something similar to what happened to T1 way back when I believe the coach had to step in for Skadoodle. I forget what tournament that was, but I think it's really beneficial to play with the coach, to understand what the coach wants you to do. While they may not be the IGL, they're still going to provide their own insight. But unfortunately, it was not enough against FaZe Clan yesterday. We'll see, of course, if it's enough against NRG today. So far, off to a 2-0 start, but this is the gun round for NRG. And as opposed to looking down the B side, they're barreling down A short, and it's a heavy stack with slight presence towards the shower side.
We got a couple of tripwires out of the Cypher to slow things down. There's one of them. That also opens up the telly play should they decide to go that way. You see a couple of cages going up. As they try to establish some sort of control around U-Haul area, you hear the run it back has been used as the spike has gone down. Android, again, he has that Vandal. He can cause some serious problems here, but he's just going to wait it out in the smoke. Oh, he was able to get one on the way out.
The fact that he's even able to get around 3 running back is very impressive as well, off of the heroics on that B site for round 2. Really nets them a couple of frags, but it's down to the 3v3, and they're going to need to find a little bit more than that. KOLER, unfortunately, runs that clip dry off the 3K, but Boy will clean him up down to the 2v2. Spike, of course, is sticking, and they fake it, but the smoke is used to try to give him a little bit of cover. They need to try to defuse the spike, but it's in a horrible spot. Boy gonna get up close and personal. That was a weird glitch to see. I don't know how the smoke subsided and then was brought back, but nevertheless, NRG win with 2 members remaining.
Boy had a chance to do something there, and it unfortunately for them, NRG was able to swing and take care of business. That was just such a tricky spot. I like what they were trying to do, right? I like the smokes that went up to try to buy some time. The tap there as well to kind of make them second guess whether or not they need to play aggressively there. But ultimately for NRG, a very important round now that they're on the board to you know, kind of get this ball rolling here. On the attacking side, you see a couple of smokes going out over towards A short, but their investment is very heavily towards B here. They're sending a couple of members up B long. The spike is still waiting around outside of hookah here, but it looks like this is where they're going to try to make a play.
The fact that KOLER was able to find a couple of frags in that previous round nets him to run it back as well, but unfortunately it's quickly dissipated by Boy. They'll use Hedwig here. eeiu puts it up on the rafters there. Won't tag anyone, so that's information still gathered, but not information that is held on for much longer. But look at this flank from Android. It's been developing, and there's a flank from Ye as well down the A short side. He's going to find one at least to trade. effys will refrag that back, but now Ye in a position to stop once again the push that rotates over towards the A side. A lot of information has been gathered by Andbox, and they're responding in kind. The 4v3 NRG now have to figure out where they want to get this spike planted.
I have retrieved the spike.
There was a ton of room that was taken up by Ye around market, but for now, at least for NRG,
30 seconds
they don't really
left.
have an option there. Seb is pushed up once again, creating more space for the defending side, and that takes away that option. The only real choice they have is to go up B long, and it looks like that's exactly where they're headed. Members of Andbox are starting to rotate over, and it looks like they're going to be able to get there at least with some time, but Wardino gets popped instantly. Again, KOLER is just filthy.
All down to Ye, who really started off the heroics here for NRG with the long con flank through A short. And, you know, to be fair, I think they were able to find the spike carrier through that, so I'm not really sure why Ye gave up his position. Maybe he wanted to double back to safety. He did not have dust control or portals control. They could have just flanked him from the portal side if they hopped in from A long. So Ye was in a really tough spot, I think, paired up with the rest of his team to figure out how they wanted to control the spike. And of course, NRG found it, doubled back. They had heavy presence towards the long side, so they were able to just hold on to that position. And really, despite all the ground that Andbox was able to find, NRG still held the position that they had and benefited immensely from it. And of course, yeah, KOLER does what KOLER does best, and that's fine picks. But great attempts from Andbox, but even greater answers from NRG.
Greater answers indeed. We'll take a look at the economy here in a moment. It looked like Andbox might be on something a bit lighter, as it looks like there were pistols by and large across the board. KOLER obviously being the exception, as you see there with the Vandal in tow. On the attacking, yeah. Oh, excuse me. I was with Andbox. They don't have a ton to work with. NRG is going to be able to bring in everything. So here on the attacking side, they know that they're going to have the firepower advantage.
Get out of my way!
And Andbox is not going to be nearly as fortunate, but you see they're still poised. They're still trying to set up to fight for U-Haul control. And Boy going aggressively here with the Bladestorm, excuse me, down B long.
I think when NRG ends up doubling back to B site in later rounds, they're going to find a very scrappy Andbox. They've had heavy presence towards this warp control so often, and as you see, there's going to be lurks coming in from behind. Andbox on this eco aren't looking to sit and just wait for NRG to walk into whatever site they plan to. They're going to get involved. The Bladestorm finds one, maybe finding a second one here shortly, but there's a crossfire set up, so Boy has got to at least find one. He can effys with the cross, but Ye will answer back with the Phantom. Now the 3v3 NRG, where are they going to go? It's looking like up 8 short to get that spike down.
And I like how they played that. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned NRG's crossfire. It looked like Andbox had a bit of one of their own as Ye was pushing in through hookah. He was able to get that kill, but now, as you said, they're starting to push their way into U-Haul. KOLER is able to get one. Android responds with a frenzy. And he looked like he dinked up another one as well, but effys able to trade it out. A 2v1 here in favor of NRG as the spike is working its way over towards A. They're going to smoke out Heaven, and they're going to have a player walking right. Oh no, daps should win. daps is holding that angle. Ye's going to get all the information that he needs. Now just waiting as it drops down to a 1v1. Both players relatively healthy. effys, however, just playing a little bit of do-si-do here as they rotate around each other.
Oh, yay. Very nicely done. I was going to point out that after that first initial pick, I can't quite tell if the Empress subsided, because right after that dismiss, he didn't have Empress anymore. So it was either after that pick that he couldn't get the invisibility dismiss. So effys knew, I think, if the Empress wasn't there, he knew that he was going to be positioned around the backside. So he lurks all the way back around to try to pinch him in. But yay, repositioning as well. 1v1 scenarios are always difficult, but very well played. And quick reaction time as well to see, okay, cool, he's on the right side of the truck. So now we're moving into another round. Look at Andbox. Once again, heavy presence towards the long side. Are NRG going to eventually figure this out? And if so, how are they going to do it? It starts here with daps and the type of camera control that he'll have down the long side.
Yeah, we haven't seen Andbox invest a ton into hookah, and when they do show presence there, it is a bit later on in the round this time.
They found my wire.
The setup is going to be slightly different. But one of the things that is constant that they continue to play around is all the utility up A short. And look at Yay, getting a little antsy, goes in aggressive and gets punished. effys takes him out.
It's a little bit of a risky play, especially since you heard potentially members pushing in with the boom bot into hookah. And then even Seb biting off a little bit here to see how much he can find. He cannot. A little bit too aggressive. I think, you know, despite the information that they found, they didn't really have a lot to work with Andbox. So pushing up 2 members up A short on the gun round, I'm not really sure if they were hoping to net like this heroic play, you know, this great caster play-by-play moment. But does get responded by Android, peeks through the smoke, finds eeiu, and now it's down to the 3v4.
He does have to run it back too, so keep a close eye on that. As resources are starting to come over once again from Andbox, it's going to be a 4v3 in favor of NRG. However, there's the run it back that we were just talking about. He's going to flash his way in. Oh, he didn't see the cloud. He didn't see the smoke. And that's going to take care of him, but they still have a chance as Reyna's taken out again. Boy goes in, gets aggressive, but the kill gets traded out. Android gets hit as well. And NRG are able to put up another round, knot us up at 3 apiece.
I don't want to deny NRG's hold there. But all I gotta say is Phantom Gang. That's it. Just Phantom Gang. Phantom versus Vandal in the hands of Android. Just Phantom Gang. Just Phantom Gang things. I've been seeing that a lot on Twitter. A lot of players still deciding whether or not the Phantom or the Vandal is better. A lot of pro players have moved over to the Phantom. I can't believe we're even still having this debate. You know, it's been so back and forth over the course of the entirety of this game. But the Spike GG released stats that during some of the qualifiers here, the open and close, more Phantoms have been picked up than Vandals. So, Phantom Gang.
Clever use of that shock dart there to clear out the tripwire that's been in that spot every single round. This time on the B side for Andbox, they are showing a bit more presence around hookah, but nobody's home. NRG's pushing everything up towards A short. You see the dart come out, try to get any info as the smoke comes out as well onto the site. They're going to smoke off the second entrance as KOLER works his way into U-Haul. So much space being gained here by NRG.
Oh, he heard the reload. He heard the reload, so he pushed forward eeiu with the support there. Spike, of course, going down. There's some heroics coming out from Boy, but KOLER's there waiting in the vents. This is just a pretty standard round from NRG. It's the eco for Andbox. They pushed up A short. I think by now, NRG have at least somewhat figured out, or at least have some sort of presence to say, okay, they're heavy stacking towards the B site. Because we've seen on a couple of rounds, especially that first round, there's a bloodbath that had kind of gone, okay, wait, hold on, hold a thought. Oh my goodness, yay. Almost turns that one around. That's not something that I expected. But I think for NRG, they've really seen, over the course of the past 7 rounds, heavy presence towards the B side. Once they eventually do end up going down the long side, they've really got to fight for it because they're in for a lot of pain. There's usually 2 or 3 members that look for orb control, that look to push up aggressively. We'll see if Andbox does it this time around. They've got 4 members on the B site on the gun round. So they're definitely, once again, looking for that type of presence. We'll see if it does pay off for them or if those type of lurks pay off as NRG are looking towards the A site.
Flight.
You mentioned a bit of aggression coming out of Andbox down B, and that's exactly what's happening. They have 3 members down there, but KOLER, once again, with the run it back, is starting to work his way onto A, and once again, they were able to establish so much control. They get so much space. There's also the orbital strike that's going to be coming down across A short. You also, on top of that, here the showstopper, and it's exactly what was needed on the side of NRG as Wardino has been taken out.
Wow.
And here, oh my gosh, they're gonna walk right through the teleport into the sights of eeiu, but he's gonna get taken out at the hands of eeiu. The operator's no longer in play, and the spike is gonna go down over on B.
Spike planted.
This reminds me of that moment of The Office where it's like, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. If you're gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. They try to lurk through the shower side. They hop through the portal, I believe, right? They, Andbox hop through the portal, or they rotate it all around, or whatever. The point being is they try to funnel into the showers to pinch them on the A side, and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna hop through the other portal and do the old do-si-do. So now it's the 3v3. The defense has to worry about this post-plant position. effys in a great spot down an elbow, and he's going to find one. It's traded out by Android, but now it's all down to him. The Hunter's Fury comes through to deny the plant, the paint shells as well, and he knows at least one player is back towards the laboratory. Going to start the diffuser, or at least fake it for the time being, but he's in a 1v3, make it a 1v1. Sorry, a 1v2 to a 1v1, and he cannot find that last and remaining player. Android with 100 credits, not going to get the full bang for his buck in the round ahead, and it's going to be up by 2 for NRG.
I really like how eeiu played that. They're on the flank, working his way around very slowly, but again, with the Hunter's Fury, like you said, the capability for him to impact the play from a distance and stay safe was just very well played. NRG starting to create a little bit of separation here as they start to pull away. Now with the 2-round lead on the attacking side, we've seen a couple of different looks from them. But much like the last couple of rounds, it looks like they're leaning over towards A short.
Andbox have managed to find a Blade Storm almost every single eco. That's crazy to think. It's really does boil down to their orb control down the long side, and that's probably why you're not seeing too much of it now, because they have 4 ultimates. There's no point to look down long if, you know, you've got your ultimates, but now the execute starts to come through. TP backside for effys. We see Omens do this a lot on Bind. KOLER's going to find the first, Sam going to find the second, and this eco is slowly falling apart for Andbox. They even commit to run it back, and it's all down to just 2 final players, Android alongside Boy. It's a difficult retake, a 2v4, already ultimates committed, and I don't think Android are going to walk away with this one, but we're about to find out.
They've got time, but there's also the possibility of just playing for exits. Boy getting a little antsy here, slowly going to creep his way through U-Haul, and he's going to get hit in the mouth. Sam's waiting for him with the Phantom. Takes care of Boy. Android has no choice but to go ahead and just back up and try to save that Vandal. It doesn't look like NRG is in a position to kind of hunt him down. Of course, KOLER being the one exception, and as he's creeping his way up over towards B. But either way, this round certainly in the hands. Ooh. Yikes! In the hands of NRG.
Listen, if you're Andbox, you take those. Okay, small victories. You're already down by 3. You may be looking at a couple of more. As NRG have really found great answers to Andbox's strategy. No, I don't want to discredit Andbox for collecting those orbs down the long side. They've collected pretty much 100%. Out of 9 rounds, they've gotten that B-long orb every single round. And it's netted them a couple of ultimates, but unfortunately, the ultimate usage, as we just saw, they lost 2 there. Will not really find anything more than that. Boy going to be looking down the shower side. The rest of the team going to be pushing up B short. And this is going to be a different look from Andbox. We'll see if NRG are ready for it, because that Boombot has stopped, something that has consistently managed to make its way through. And they're going to play aggressively for it. Android finds some. They'll run it back. Oh my goodness, they're going to find 2 there. Sorry, not the run it back, but they're running it back on a new execute. And they find 2 picks from NRG.
And you saw early on the Cypher cam taken out over back behind showers. That cam has been there every single time. They're able to deny that vision. They're able to deny that information from NRG, and then going in a bit aggressively through B, like we just saw, like a counter punch in a sense. You hit a jab and then a cross on the opposite side of the map as they pull back and forth on pressure in strong areas of the map. But either way, for NRG here, they still have to make something happen. They're just down to 2 members left. Things are going from bad to worse, as it's just eeiu here, and he's getting pinched in. That's certainly going to help his cause as he's able to take out Seb. But, I mean, a difficult situation for him here.
I love the adaptations from Andbox, especially considering NRG have have had so much presence towards the A side, whether it was an eco or a gun round. And this is the first round in a while that NRG have decided to hit the B side. And for the most part, the Boombot has gone really uncontested through A short time and time and time again. So now they play aggressive, but we're going to have to put that conversation on pause. It's down to eeiu. In a 1v2, he's going to get taken down by Ye. Finds at least Wardino in the process. But I like the adaptation. It's very well thought out. And now it boils down to how NRG are going to adapt for the last 2 rounds before we swap halves to the defensive side for NRG.
Take a look at the weapons here. Looks like it's going to be a mixed bag for Andbox, and NRG should be able to respond with plenty of firepower of their own. The other thing I want to keep in mind is I believe it was Android who's 1 point away from the run it back. We've seen them more than capable and more than willing to play around ult orbs, as it looks like they're going to be able to secure that down B long without any problems. And you already see up on the spectator client that he was able to get that orb and get the ult. So we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, on the attacking side for NRG, once again, heavy presence up A short. There's a bit of firepower from Andbox up from heaven, but he's been smoked off already. effys is already on the site. He's going to get the spike down.
Yeah, the fact that they're completely ignoring this lamp side means that they can get the spike down. But look at Wardino from the side. He's going to deny 3. The daps will refrag, but it's all down to eeiu. And Andbox will secure the round. For the first time, they adapt to that A side hit. There was a smoke that stopped the vents rotation. They had an operator player up in the heaven side, but Wardino holding down a beautiful angle. We didn't really get to see his perspective, but NRG, considering they just completely forewent the lamps push, they're like, okay, let's get the spike down, stop the push from the lamp side. But Wardino's like, yeah, not today, and mows down 3. Solid round from Andbox.
Solid round indeed. 1 round away from halftime. NRG with a slight lead, but a lead nonetheless. Sam is going to be bringing a Spectre into the action. effys is not going to be on full armor. There are a couple, every single person except for daps, 1 point away from NRG. effys too, sorry, from having their ultimate here in this final round. So you imagine some sort of presence, some sort of move, action towards the ult orbs. KOLER looked like he was trying to tag up a little bit here, but I like what they're doing. They created enough space and they had enough resources there to be able to go in and confidently take that ult orb away in showers.
Yeah, I don't think either team has really paid too much attention to that orb towards the shower side. It's for the first time that we're seeing NRG have a very aggressive look. The running back is ready. There's a flank being developed by Andbox, and we'll see if the portals play does end up coming through. Jmoy will run through. The orbital strike stops the 8 short push. I love that. And effys is just playing point for the defense to not allow them to come back on to the site. It's all down to 2 final players. Andbox looking down a 7-5 unless Android and Ye have some heroics coming up in this 2v5.
Oh, Android's in a good spot. He's already able to get 1. Snaps not able to get the 2nd. You mentioned it drops down to 2. It's actually just Ye who was able to get 1. Doesn't have the Empress and doesn't have life any longer as eeiu takes him out. Drops the Hunter's Fury there for kicks and giggles. NRG with the 2-round lead at half.
Really, the story of that first half was just how were NRG adapting to Andbox and how Andbox were adapting to NRG. We saw so much that B-long presence for Andbox, and it just, I'm not gonna lie, it didn't quite work out the way that they had intended. And, you know, NRG was like, yeah, if you're gonna continue to do that, we're gonna exploit the weaker side. And they did. To be fair, 7-5 is still an admirable half from Andbox, despite NRG really having a great pulse on how that match was unfolding. But now we're moving into the second half. We'll see how NRG have their own defensive setups. Looks like something very similar, but still hookah presence, which I love, to kind of counterbalance that B-site orb control.
Yeah, you see a couple of tripwires too, suggesting that the primary spot they want to work towards is A. As the Cypher sitting there waiting on the lurk, the spike is hovering around A short. They're going to be able to go in, get that ult orb that we were just talking about into the hands of Android. An early slight win, but a win nonetheless. They got in, they came in, they got what they wanted, and more importantly, they drew the resources of NRG over. Shortly after the round started and they caused a bit of noise, you saw 3-4 members rotate over. Now, they're starting to rotate back a bit. Sam is, excuse me. But the spike is, or the presence out of Andbox is still on this side.
Smokes go down for Andbox. Looking like they want to execute here. effys smokes off hookah to deny vision. If anyone is pushing in because they don't have a great angle into hookah. So he's at least denying a potential push or if there's anything that is about to happen. So smokes go down for Wardino, but it's not the A side executed. NRG read this correctly. Unfortunately, the recon bolt is not read correctly as eeiu will just stick it in the door, but still reveals Seb. Now he hops through. Now the flash comes out, and that's going to be a player off to the side. KOLER does get taken down despite having the flash advantage. And Andbox push on to the B site with a heavy advantage now, 3-2. We'll see how daps and effys work their way back onto the site.
It was really well played by Andbox to be able to do that because NRG didn't bite super hard on the bait, right? Like they pulled resources over, but then they brought them back towards B. So for them to be able to get on the spike and get the spike down has been really impressive so far. And to have a numbers advantage here, Wardino is able to get another one. daps is now starting to go a bit aggressive. Holy, Toledo rips his face off. But it's still going to be a 1v2. Yes, they're certainly low, but daps is taking a good bit of damage as well. Oh my gosh, he's going to get a chance. No, the burst wasn't there. Wardino with 2 kills on the round. Andbox win the pistol. This thing's getting spicy, Simo.
That was very doable for daps. They were definitely low on the Andbox side. If Android falls there in that initial shoulder peak, then it's a 1v1, and Wardino is a little bit lower than daps. So definitely could have gone the way of NRG to start, but the fact that Andbox win this pistol super crucial. They've won both. So now they're going to be likely sitting at 7-7. We'll see how NRG, of course, respond. It's not going to be the force up on their side. And once again, Andbox, heavy presence towards the shower side. Seems a little easier for the attack to have control of that orb.
Yeah, I like that smoke out of effys to just delay, make them think twice about it. But as you see on the mini-map, all of the resources from NRG, or almost all of them, are over towards B. They've got a Cypher cam over on A, and they have the Omen there. But by and large, it's a heavy presence on B. The spike is making its way up A short. And they've got presence coming in from showers as well. I like this push coming in from both fronts, as it looks like they're going to block off information from U-Haul as well. They're getting access to the site entirely, Simo.
We do have to recall that NRG stacked their pistols towards the B side. It's all down to effys here. Let's see how many members he can take down with him. He's gonna hold on to lamps for as long as he can. Seb will swing, find the pick. It's down to 2 members here for NRG. It doesn't seem like a very easy battle to win. They might be able to, take a couple of members with him, but I really want to highlight Andbox. Their orb control is just ridiculous. Ridiculous in the sense that they want to control an orb every single round. On the defensive side, I'm starting to have this aha moment that they're willing to play heavy on the B side on the defensive side to stack those orbs, stack those orbs for the duelists, and then retake the A side in case it does get a little hectic. It kind of worked out, but NRG were able to just hit faster and take down the defensive members better. On the attacking side now, this orb control is again necessary for the attack to have, the run it back, the blade storm, the Empress, whatever they need, whatever they feel they need to take the sites. But now NRG are going to be expecting a little bit of a different look from Andbox. A heavy and aggressive push in towards B. The duelists run in, but NRG, they back off. They haven't lost anyone yet.
A little flash, a little dash, but a whole lot of commitment towards the B site. Look at them, they're starting to just funnel through the smoke. They don't care about anything that might be impeding them onto the site. You already see a couple of kills being traded. KOLER already able to get 2, and he gets dropped. Andbox down to 2 members left. It was a bloodbath on the B side, and so far, NRG walking away with the advantage, however slight.
I have the spike.
NRG hold the line. It was an aggressive push. You technically, not technically, but you tend to see Jett's just tailwind in and get aggressive like that pretty often, so it makes a lot of sense, but a great setup there from eeiu. effys tried to flash the lurk in towards the elbow, but now it's all down to him. This is a crazy round for Andbox to win. Wardino with the stinger from the side will find effys. A solid round from Andbox. It started with a heavy push. It transitioned to NRG holding the line, but eeiu, the X Factor, finds what he needs to clean up the round.
That's just an insane, like the performance that both Android and eeiu have had on this map, as is evidenced on the scoreboard here, is just out of control. 21-9, 17-8. They both have ultimates as well. To add on to that, on the attacking side, you see that Seb is pretty close as well, as is Wardino. And Wardino, like, let's talk about Wardino here. A stand-in, he's doing just fine.
He absolutely is. But we might have to put that conversation on pause as NRG have their own anti-eco in power here. Andbox will find the trade, at least for the time being. KOLER hops onto the site, but he's taken down. Should be a pretty standard round here for NRG, but they're losing a couple of members in the process. Not something that they would have hoped for. Wardino will fall by the paint shells, and now they want to commit this Empress to really secure the round. The Spike in a horrible spot. We'll see how many more frags can come through. NRG will trade once again. This round is really starting to slip away from Andbox. They need to get that Spike down as it's just down to effys. And still, regardless of the outcome of this round, NRG have made this incredibly expensive for Andbox.
They really have. But as we highlighted at the beginning of the round, those two have just been absolutely out of control. See if they hear that telly. No, they didn't. They're working their way all the way over towards A, and that's exactly where effys is going to be coming in from as well. He's got some utility. He's got some smokes. He has a blind, so he has a chance. And furthermore, you see Ye is a bit weaker. But the run it back in the hands of Android in case he needs it certainly adds a wrinkle to the plan here. I like the defensive positioning from both members on the side of Andbox. They've split things up a bit so they're able to cover each other. Oh my gosh, of course, as I say that. Ye gets taken out. effys is going to drop onto the spike. Oh, he's going to stick it. He starts to shoot through the smoke. And oh my gosh, effys completely outnumbered. He didn't have the positioning there for him to isolate those gunfights and sneak in and get the defuse after the 1v1 at the end is just out of control.
They even planted for that side as well. You saw the defensive positioning from Andbox. They had a player in lamps. They had a player towards the heaven side. I don't really, it just doesn't feel right when they didn't hold very aggressive angles or hold angles that they could have gotten more information from, right? Android did not look down towards the defensive spawn. He was just holding in the heaven side. If he had just had a little bit of a better angle out from heaven, he would have stopped that push from effys and the round would have been as good as gone. But a great answer back here from NRG on the eco round.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Bit of an aggressive run it back here from KOLER. Looks like he might spot one player.
Joke's over!
But no, not going to get a chance to do anything on the other side. The run it back has been used as well as it works its way up a short. Android creates so much space, but there's nobody really following it up. Yeah, you can make the argument that some information might have been gained, but they still have presence on the site.
Man, NRG with some big brain plays. They do exactly what Andbox were running on the defensive half, except slightly a little bit more aggressive. They use KOLER to push up with the run it back, and eeiu follows up, and then he finds the frag onto Wardino. They find the spike, and effys just holds the line here in A short. This is an opportunity for NRG to once again regain the lead as it's down to 3 for Andbox.
NRG still at full strength as they have 3 members on the defending side over by
30
A.
seconds left.
Some presence by B, and you know they kind of have to stick on that for a little while here. Daps and effys able to really stop the entire thing in its tracks. A flawless round for NRG. They're going to take the lead. NRG looking good right now.
Yeah, a little bit of an antsy round for Andbox. A little bit unsure of how they wanted to play that out, and especially losing the spike, and then effys a spray through the smoke, through the box in A short, finds a pick as well. It's a tough push. It's a tough push for Andbox. But great plays from NRG. A great proactive defensive plays net them a solid round. And now they're sitting at an eco here for Andbox, so NRG could really extend their lead up by 2. We'll see, of course, once again, Andbox, how they play this round out. Their eco has been a threat, not too much of a threat for NRG on the defensive half. Could be a little bit of a different story here on the attack.
A little bit of noise made. That Guardian had a chance, but not able to connect. You see the Hunter Fury has been used down B long. Oh, he was able to get Ye. That's out. That's insane.
Oh, that is unfortunate for Andbox, but it's well played and well positioned from eeiu. Passive play on the B site, still membership there, 4 members strong. Gonna be a tough push in. The only weapon falls from Sebits, the Guardian. Android is gonna find at least 2 with the Sheriff. as NRG, with the remaining 3, will take down Wardino and Android. But a very well executed ultimate there from eeiu. Just Hunter's Fury right down B long. A great read. I wasn't exactly sure how much information they managed to get, but I'm assuming an ult orb was taken or some sort of noise was made by Andbox to allow him to really just lay waste to the opposition. But now it's a gun round. Let's see how the setup looks here for Andbox.
That's interesting here. Android 1 point away from the run it back, and they're not currently playing for B long control. At least Android isn't. Now they're starting to pull some resources over. You see the dart comes out to try to get some info. That is denied, but there's nobody there. They're just going to play a bit further back on the B site. Meanwhile, A has a ton of presence and a ton of utility on it, but much like the last round, it looks like Andbox is trying to make a play to B long.
So let's look at the execute setup. They've got a smoke down in hookah to deny any angle as they push in onto the B side. I'd imagine it's going to be... Oh, that's so unfortunate for Andbox.
It's awkward.
Android flashes his team. Doesn't have a curveball left. They will find the run it back at least, but he won't have any flashes to work with. The only flash they have left is the Leer, and that is very easy to deal with. So now that he pushes in, he's going to find KOLER a little unaware, and this push works perfectly for Andbox. They smoke off the choke points, and now the spike's going to go down. We'll see how NRG react in the 4v5.
Seb in a really good spot here, but his position to give it away. However, fortunately for him, there was a crossfire. Boy with the operator covering his flank like any good teammate would. NRG just down to Sam. Full presence from Andbox here on the attacking side. The the spike is certainly going to go off in favor of Andbox. They're going to bridge the gap, bring the lead down to 1 for NRG, as this map has just been back and forth the entire time.
At least Andbox are keeping it close. You know, you and I had kind of prepared a little bit more for the T1 Immortals matchup, which we still will end up covering. So I don't know the exact win percentage statistics for either side. What we do know is that Andbox, of course, you know, feeling the pressure, feeling the heat with the stand-in of Wardino. But like you said earlier, he's been performing quite well. NRG on the flip side had a very competitive match against TSM, so they're also feeling that pressure and also feeling that fire to move on into
Safety's off.
Closed qualifier, the UMG closed qualifier. So this first map really has a lot of weight.
All right. Looks like Andbox playing a bit aggressively here as they try to establish once again some presence.
Going up.
Up B long. Simo, I know you have an update for us at home here regarding this match and what's to come next.
Yeah, we'll be running into T1 and Immortals after this match. I think almost directly without a break. We'll see. We'll have to see the validity of that. But we will be joined with reflections after this. He'll help us break down the craziness of Andbox and NRG. So far, Andbox, we're looking for control of the B long side, but NRG really hold on and hold fast. And I'm the smoke off towards hookah, I think, tells NRG that they're not going to be playing towards the hookah side, because they're smoking it off themselves. So the heavy presence towards the long side allows for these two angles from eeiu and KOLER. But eventually, something's got to give. The teleport over towards the A side from effys, or sorry, he teleports towards A short to see if anyone's there, because they're playing super passive on the A side. This is about to be an expensive push, but now as they start to come in, they trade. It's the 1-for-1, but Android's going to find 2. It's down to the 4v2. And something has got to give, and it's going to be Andbox this time around. The 4v2 now is effys trying to push onto the site. He's going to try to get a little bit more aggressive to stop the pushes or try to stop the flanks coming in or the setup from Andbox, but they will hold fast 10-10 as this game's all knotted up.
Android is just out of control right now. The dude is a man possessed of 30 bomb already, and there's still a couple of rounds to go. He has a ton of money to work with as well. 1 point away from the run it back. Android is feeling himself. Ye's having a great map as well. And this thing has just been back and forth the entire time. Knotted up here at 10 apiece. Andbox on the attacking side have been able to find really everything that they wanted, with the exception of 2 rounds. But a bit of a different look here, as they're not entirely investing everything towards B. They do have some presence over there, but the spike hasn't fully committed yet.
This time we see a smoke towards the long side from Wardino, which is a little interesting. Android has to heal himself back up. He's 1 point away from the running back, so if he can actually find himself a frag, he will find himself in a running back position and be able to use it this round. Op with the boy with the op. Wardino just trying to play point towards the long side as Andbox start to develop a heavy push towards the A side. I don't know if NRG have found that orb, but if they can find it here for Android,
No more charges
this is going to be a very spicy round for Andbox. Oh, it's there.
Yeah, it is. A little bit of intel gained. Looks like they're going to be able to get what they want. You presume that that's where they're going to want to go, but you see a couple of smokes have already been dropped, and resources are coming over. The orbital strike is going to rain fire down across A short and into U-Hauls. Wardino's able to get one, daps trades it out, and Android's clone has been taken care of. Sam with the operator holding things at bay. As Andbox is just down to 3 members left. Also keep in mind for NRG, they have a couple of ultimates to work with still, but it looks like that's not it might not matter. They may not need it. Wardino's able to get one. There's the showstopper, excuse me, that we were just talking about. I love how Sam is playing this. Delays a little bit, buy some time, buy some space. There's just one member left, however, on the side of NRG. Gonna get a chance with the operator, not gonna land. And he almost does it with the classic, but it was not enough. Yay absolutely gives him the business. A 1-round lead for Andbox here as we near the end of the map.
I really like how NRG were holding down that A side, at least to start. They paranoid the entire line pushing in from the showers, and the entire team as well does not take out the clone because it's paranoid. There's no need to. They take care of the members pushing in. Very well done by NRG, but Andbox still with the pandemonium. They orbital strike the lamp side. They clear the angles that don't need to be fought for, and Ye just does what Ye does best. It does go down to a 2v2 and then a 1v1. Very well done from Andbox. So now it's up to them to see how they want to close this one out, but an aggressive push down the long side. It bodes well for KOLER. He's going to find 2. Boy will answer back, but it's already trouble in paradise for Andbox.
It's a bloodbath around the fountain, but Boy does it again as he takes care of KOLER. Boy just down to 32 health left. Still has an opportunity to make something happen. The spike is down close enough to him to make a play. You see Ye, one of the other members of Andbox that are still alive, slowly creeping his way up U-Haul. It looks like it's just going to be a 50 angle, and he doesn't check it. Daps with the Spectre, and he's going to get the information needed from the north left. Boy, again, has that operator, but he's running for the fences. He's going to be hunted down.
32 HP in a 1v3. If you can find some isolation picks, this is definitely going to feel a little bit better. 1v2 than the 1v1, but 32 HP is a difficult task ahead, especially when there's an angle here from daps. As Boy is starting to push up down that long side, daps sees him, and then eeiu swings. Very well done by NRG, but it all started with that crazy bloodbath. The fact that NRG had the cojones to push through the smoke that was set up by effys, it didn't give Andbox enough information to say who was there on the opposite side. All they heard was a run it back and a whole lot of trouble. Or sorry, it wasn't even used. They just blindly went in with the curveball. They trusted KOLER to do exactly what he needed to do, which was find the picks, find the craziness, the pandemonium. Yes, Andbox answered back with a couple of picks, but now let's see this set up for the next and upcoming round.
Here.
Leaning towards A. We haven't seen much of this recently. I love that smoke that drops every single time. Oftentimes on the attacking side, you'll see Cypher drop a camera to look into showers and try to get some info, but that smoke out of Omen has been there every single round to essentially counter that camera. It looks like Andbox was able to work their way up showers nonetheless, but they have not fully committed. Meanwhile, on the side of NRG, they're starting to pull more and more resources over as they're getting information. Boy's going to use the Blade Storm and work his way forward. Oh,
In sight.
It does look like we had a little bit of a technical hiccup. Hopefully things haven't happened. It does look like they haven't. Still the 5v5, and we can kind of jump right back into things.
30 seconds left.
Doug and I, hopefully Doug, are you with me?
yes, I'm back.
All right, let's lock and load for this last and final round. Look at this execute towards this A site. I think it started with the pump fake, and then they ended up going back towards the A site. The spray from eeiu, but the knives from Boy from the side as he lurks through the lamps. Now he's going to go vertical, but gets taken down by daps. It's a 2v2. Spike needs to go down. KOLER is going to force the issue to run it back. The shots are clean, and now it's down to the 1v1. And KOLER, boy, does he run it back, and he puts NRG at match point.
Wow, what a banger to come back to out of that like technical hiccup to go into something like that. It's just what more could you possibly ask for? Either way, at the end of the day, NRG, as you said, on match point here. They're going to have plenty of guns. That Hunter's Fury is going to be available on the defending side. We'll see how eeiu and the rest of NRG play around that. And if you're Andbox, you're feeling some of this pressure here on this opening map. For Andbox, on the attacking side, looks like they're going to push up towards B. They've played around this B long side a number of times. This time, the camera instantly denied out of hookah. So they got some info. They know there's at least a Cypher on this side of the map, but they're just continuing to push their way forward. Again, presence up B long as well. Nobody over towards A. There's a Hunter's Fury that we were talking about earlier. KOLER was able to get one. eeiu looking for a bit more information. Was able to tag up a member in hookah as well. But it looks like Simo, they're still committed to the site. The spike is down right outside of Garden. They have to go.
They gotta go. It's the 3v2 now. I like the patient play from eeiu to use that Hunter's Fury, but he doesn't find anything with it. And now it's just down to effys and daps working their way back into the site. Spike is taking defensive setup, or a little bit more of an aggressive setup from Andbox. Ye's gonna find success. Effys on the opposite side, and they know exactly where he is now. The wall goes up, the curveballs come through, and NRG, man, we're gonna be looking at overtime here. If effys cannot clutch this one through, 3 duelists on the opposite side is what he's gotta go through. It's their specialty to take him down. He hops to hookah. Ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be overtime between Andbox and NRG.
And I like the way Andbox played that on the defensive side, knowing that it was a 3v1, knowing they had a very good idea of where effys was going to be coming from. You don't see any aggressive isolated peeks. You don't see anyone trying to stare down into hookah and give effys a chance to make a play. They all wait back, force effys into a situation where he has to get onto the site before he even gets a chance at an engagement. And with that, Andbox was just able to take care of business. So very well played from them in the closing moments of regulation time in order to force this situation here. And again, I can't stress this enough. Very impressed with how well Warden has stepped into the role that he's been asked to fill up against NRG here. For them to get into overtime is really impressive in Poach's absence.
So let's pay attention to how Andbox are going to play this defensive side, because normally we see a lot of orb control. There's no point on overtime, right? Unless you're able to find a multi-kill and then end up using that to some great effect. You don't normally see ultimates have a huge impact on the overtime round. So that's why you're seeing just a very defensive setup on the B site. They've got the Cypher, they've got Warden there, which we normally have seen Seb play towards that A site. And so now NRG have to adapt accordingly, but still Andbox with a heavier presence towards the B site. Despite it not being the orb control, it's just a heavy presence instead. Andbox now have to worry about this heavy push from NRG. A boy almost finds a collateral, but that's spiked down, and now it's the 4v5 in favor of Andbox.
Going up.
KOLER heals up a bit as effys starts to plant the spike and then pulls back off of it. And now it's going to be going down again. Andrew goes in aggressive. He's able to take care of effys, but it looks like some of the fire is starting to show up. Now members of Andbox have arrived. They've got some presence that's going to be coming in really scattered across the map. You see they've got a really good crossfire going on here. Boy with the operator. Just kind of waiting to see if anyone else is going to show up. Wardeno's going to get a chance here. He's flashed up. He's taken out at the hands of KOLER. That's going to give them U-Haul control. That's a big kill.
Yeah, but at least Andbox know that there's something fishy going on. Seb is going to find one. It's down to Boy with the op. No armor in hand, no utility, just has the tailwind in case things get a little scary. He's got about 20 seconds remaining on the spike. And that's not a lot of time to work with and cover all the different angles. No smoke to cover his diffusal here as well. Swaps to the Vandal. I like that idea. There's going to be a run at pack that comes through as KOLER manages to find enough success to bring that into the fray. And as I kind of eat my own words on that ultimate, he ends up using it, finds the pick, and now NRG are sitting once again at match point.
Yeah, and you know, Boy had a chance there. If he's able to take care of that clone, he can go in aggressively and take care of KOLER as well. But there was a good setup from NRG. So They take the opening round in overtime. No operators this time from either squad. Nobody willing to roll the die quite like that. Again, Andbox here on the attacking side. They showed us a couple of different looks here in regulation, but for now, looking like they're going to want to push away. They short daps, but didn't even get a chance to get the information there as the camera got shot out instantly.
NRG now on the defensive end. They're going to be having a heavier stack towards this A side, and now the execute comes through. KOLER with 2. That's got to hurt for Andbox. Spike, unfortunately, behind enemy line. Seb is going to find effys on the retreat out from showers. So this is an even footing matchup now. So 3v3 still have the ability to back up and go towards the B side. But considering the aggressive positioning from Android means that they really want this A side.
Oh, Android's just down to 4 health left. Doesn't have a ton of options. You mentioned the spike certainly committing over towards A. eeiu is going to plant it and get it down. Oh my gosh, Android with 4 health is already able to get 2 more. 3 on the round for him. eeiu's able to take care of 7. Android gets a 4K. Holy cow, Andbox will not go away.
Oh my goodness, Android.
Overtime.
That was some crispy movements, crispy shots, 38 kills. He's about to drop a 40 bomb. If he finds 2 more, I don't really see too many 40 bombs, so that would be a very impressive sight to see. But Android, he was hoping to use that wall to heal himself up, but unfortunately the positioning would have called and caused NRG to push back in, right? So now, very scary sight for NRG. The heroics from Android just keep on coming. And this is only map 1. We don't get to see how this ends, but both teams very, very impressive.
Very impressive indeed. Android,
Going up.
again, in a position to make something happen here. You see him put up the wall, deny any entrance from anyone coming in. Well, not any entrance, but any easy entrance coming in through Garden. Boy on the other side, once again, has an operator on the defensive side, making that investment worthwhile with the opening pick. Meanwhile, Android, again, 1 kill, away from that filthy 40 bomb. He's just having a field day right now.
And he's allowed to do this because he has support from Boy and Hookah. He can just hold this angle forever. He doesn't have to worry unless somebody pushes in. For Andbox, little do we know that nobody's pushing in from that side. So they can have 2 members here. If Android falls, they've got a great swing from Seb as well. So NRG really in a tough spot with 3 members remaining. But we've seen how heroics can come through for NRG. There's the trade as I talked about. The Cyber Cage goes up. And now it's just down to 2 final players for NRG.
Meanwhile, you see a couple of members
30 seconds left.
of Andbox that have not fully rotated over. effys with the spike still. He's been pushed off as he gets tagged up. Like the smokes to try to deny any entrance over from Hookah. Daps goes in aggressive. He's able to take care of Seb. Now you see the telly come through. Daps, oh my gosh, Daps.
10 seconds
Daps already
left.
has 3 on the round. 9 seconds left. In a 1v1. Here comes eeiu. He's going to swing. He's going to get a chance on him. Daps is going to get taken out. Andbox take the lead.
Man, he did some heavy lifting there in a great
Switching
position
sides.
to find those picks too. I
Match
like the
point.
setup though, how Andbox set up that round, but now it boils down to this match point for Andbox. Not something that I honestly had anticipated that NRG were going to close that round out at round 24. I honestly thought we weren't going to go to overtime and NRG were going to somehow find a way to close things out. But now look where we're at. Andbox at match point for map number 1, a hard-fought battle. And this is an amazing story for Andbox as well. Imagine a world where they clean up the series, and they did it with their coach Warden. And they're even stronger with Poach too, because we've seen their performances at the Renegade Invitational, at varying other tournaments in the qualifiers. Andbox are a solid team, and to have this performance against NRG, who kept it close against TSM yesterday, is a very impressive feat.
Good bit of Cypher utility around B. You just saw the camera get taken out. That's going to be a bit of denial of info. But it looks like NRG, they haven't really moved at all, given some of the info that they know at this point. They know that Cypher was over by B, and if there was doubt prior to that cage going up, that certainly secures things. But look at it, they're going to smoke in and they're going to dash all the way into their own smoke, as it looks like they've taken some presence, some control around the B site. NRG is going to start to rotate over as Seb begins to plant the spike. No ultimates to talk about here. The spike is down.
It's a little unfortunate as they were. He tried to use the shock darts to find the planter, but he won't. So now we got to look at this 2v3 Andbox trying to back away. It's going to be down to Android and can he 1v3? About to find out. Smoke goes down. The diffuse is starting to come through. They're not looking to try to fake it anytime soon. He comes in, and that's going to be NRG resetting, bouncing back. We're going to triple overtime for NRG versus Andbox.
Switching sides. Overtime.
Man, this map has been so good. 29th round before us, folks. This thing has delivered. Boy, once again, as we've seen the last couple of rounds, is going to be bringing an operator in. But this time, oh, it's going to be on the defensive side. Yes. Excuse me. So yeah, they're going to still be bringing in that operator, still committing to that investment. We'll see where he posts up for now. Meanwhile, NRG on the attacking side are kind of waiting this bad boy out. You heard the Roomba was used presumably to get some information around Hookah, but he got shot out at the hands of Andbox. There was that operator we talked about holding things down on showers. You see a couple of pings on the minimap. You know that's exactly where they're going to want to go. The drone is going to lead. The smokes come down as well. eeiu is going to clear out those tripwires. Oh, but they've got to be careful. Simo, there's a flank coming in from Android. If they don't, if they leave that unchecked, it's going to be devastating.
Yeah, he's got to break the trip, and now that he does, we'll see if NRG decide to plan. There is an angle held by daps. We'll see if he's going to be able to take out Android. He does. So now back to the action at the forefront. The ace site looking a little rough here for Andbox as they're trying to retake it. effys going to find one. It's down to Ye, and boy, we know these two to be carrying the clutch gene, but will they be able to clutch against NRG? The 2v4, Ye's gonna at least know that there's a paranoia here, there's an Omen here, there's a somebody here that's gonna be effys. He's taken down to the 1v3. Ye trying to push back onto the site, but now it is NRG that have match point in their pocket. They'll be swapping over to the defense. Can they hold off Andbox one more time, or are we going to quadruple overtime?
daps had a really good spot there as the spike continued to tick down to be able to provide some of that cover from showers. I like the setup there from NRG in the closing moments. But as you said now, once again, NRG with the lead on the defending side. Andbox have to show something spicy, as they've done the last couple of rounds. Don't get me wrong. But it's just, you begin to reach deeper and deeper into your bag of tricks in overtime. And there's a limited resource there. So you wonder how much is left in the tank for both of these squads. How much more can they do? They've got heavy presence over on B, but the spike is actually over towards A. They're creating some noise, a couple of smokes, the curveball's coming out as well, but NRG not pulling resources over. They're being patient.
Yeah, but this is map 1, Doug. I know that we don't get to see how this series ends. There's a comfortable world where we do, but these two teams are evenly matched. And Andbox have got some ankle weights on, you know, not without one of their players on their roster. So for I still think that Andbox as a whole are performing incredibly well, and NRG really have a tough task ahead. Whoever wins this map is going to just breathe a sigh of relief and move into the second one, knowing we can 2-0 this. We can move on and eliminate the other, but let's look at this execute. Wardino going to lead it through. Smokes go down, and eeiu just trying to hold on. Shock darts come through. We'll see if it tags anyone. It does not, as KOLER will have the shots from the elbow side. It's traded away. The 1-for-1. eeiu still alive, still playing in the smoke, and Ye gonna get taken down. Some with the ankle across. Down to one final player. The defuse comes through. It's Android. Shot's gonna be good, at least from distance, but he has to reload the clip. The defuse is coming through, and NRG will solidify map number 1. A hard-fought battle from Andbox. Android was trying to drag his team through bind, but it was not to be. NRG will win that first map, and we'll be moving on to another map for them. Best of 3 still is going to be coming through here for Android, but let's bring Reflections back in.